Hi guys, welcome to another episode. This episode will be kind of mystery. I will not put the name of the projects that I will make in a subject. I know that the curiosity kills a cat, but I hope it will be worth. Let's call this a nice thing for craftsmaker. As you can see, I have my chops already on my workbench, so there will be a little bit of metalworking, welding, woodworking. I hope it will be a pretty exciting project, especially that it will be for the for a Christmas gift. So let's get started. And small progress update. As you can see, I have prepared a pile of planks. There are scraps from my beehives, so let's put them aside. As you can see, different sizes, lengths, and here I have very long pieces. Also, there is a pipe. So far I welded such a frame, and this pipe, let me remove this. Here's my pipe, there's a frame. I'm going to weld those two elements together. Here I have two bearings, so one and another, the same, with the difference that at the bottom of this one I already put another bearing. Thing is that those two can work in a XY axis, but this one works only on a Z axis. So this is this one. For this one I had to make this diameter a little bit bigger to be able to put that pipe through that bearing. To achieve this, because I don't have a lathe, I took it's a build from some air gun. It was pretty crappy tool, but I had that bit. It is rounded, it's long enough. I put this to my drill and I spent almost 2 hours removing material from inside. The white piece on it, it's a tape, double side, and I put a sanding paper over it. And for the final touch, let's say, I used the stones that comes with the multi-tool, like a Dremel. And I will remove the diameter of this pipe at the end as well, because now it will not go inside of that bearing, but because it doesn't have to go through, I can remove just a little bit of that pipe. So bearings, pipe, frame. I also have hinges, small, for welding. What else do I have? Not much for now. So I guess I'm not going to tell you what it will be now, but you may suppose that this frame probably may spin. That will be a good guess. So I'm going back to work, and I will show you the progress in a few minutes. I have another set of pieces to weld. I'm going to prepare them for welding. I could use my angle grinder, but I have many such small elements and I would have to use a vise anyway, so I will use that device to prepare them for welding. So let's do this and start welding those elements. I'm close to finish, and let's say that 90, maybe not 90, but 80% of elements that I need to build what I'm building, I have on my table right now. I'm wondering if you know what it will be. If you ever worked with such tool, you should be able to recognize this in a few seconds. Write a comment in a comment section down below in which minute you find out what I'm doing. And there's one more small update. Hinges will not be included to this project because of time. That's the first thing, and the second one, I don't have more material. So here's my bearing with this Z-axis bearing. It will go like this. Let's see, more or less like this. That's the bearing that I was sending inside to increase diameter. Okay. Okay. I need to center that bearing, but not now. So it will be like this. That pipe is a little bit too long. It will be welded more or less. Yeah, more or less like this, I think. We'll see. So as you can see, there will be a few parts spinning and a few wooden parts. So I'm going back to work. I have the bottom part welded to the pipe. You can see it's spinning nicely. It is not perfectly straight because there is some leveling on a bearings level, so I will do this later. But now what I need to do is to trim the end of this pipe because it's too long as expected. But I didn't know how much I would have to remove. That's why I welded first. Did some, let's say, fake mounting on the place and measure the correct length of this pipe. So I'm going to trim it and then weld it like this. Obviously that hole is too big, so I will take some scraps that I have from my previous project. It's a 1 centimeter flat bar. I will cut 2 pieces, weld to this element, and then weld everything to that pipe. So if you don't know what is this about, it will be something to work with clay. Now, as you can see, I changed design on my workbench. Welding is completely done. The main frame is already painted. Some drills are pre-drilled. So now it's time to work with wood a little bit. My jigsaw is already prepared. Marks on the wood are done. So let's do it. So I have 2 wheels cut. The big one looks okay. Something went wrong with the small one. As you can see, it seems that I couldn't. Maybe it's that way. Let's see. Yeah. It's okay. Wow. I have 2 wheels ready to be mounted in that tool. I don't want to say the name of it yet. But before I will do this, I need to drill a big hole in the middle of that board, which is the middle of the big wheel. So let's do this. Because I don't have a huge drill, the biggest one that I have is 35 millimeters. So it will be, let's say, a mixed technique. I will make some hole by this 35 millimeters. Then I will use that blade, which gives me 45 millimeters. And in the meantime, I would have to chop out the material from the inside. It was easier than I thought. Which is cool. So now we have a hole, and now I need to cut out that element here to be able to push it over a pipe that I was welding earlier. And here we have our spinning part. So it will go something like this. And this is number 2. So that will be bottom part. And this goes like this. Ta-da! I hope it will work, and I hope you already know what it is. On this stage, if you ever seen something like this, you should know. If don't, let's continue watching. And now it's time to assemble all the parts. That's the main frame. It is anti-rust paint only. A few reasons. I don't know the final color it should be. So it's just an anti-rust protection. And it looks, let's say, Scandinavian. It's a typical color of Norway's houses, I think. It's iron. But anyway, now I'm going to assemble. I prepared 2 wooden kind of legs to make it safe for wooden floors or not concrete floors. Here in the smaller one, I also produced 2 holes for screws that will go for the bottom bearings. And yeah, let's do some assembly. The Z-axis bearing is made out of 3 separate elements, so keep it in mind. Here it is. Up, up, big nose. Okay. To mount the bearings to the frame, I'm using M8, which means 8 millimeters thick screw bolt. And for the bottom bearing, I'm going to use 2 nuts just to avoid loosening it. It doesn't have to be, let's say, looking great. It has to be solid, because the whole force will be applied here. Yeah, but here I'm going to use those nice looking nuts. To make that technique with 2 nuts working, they need to make they need to create a pressure on a thread between themselves. So I'm going to hold the bottom nut and then try to tight the upper one as much as I can, so then they make that pressure that keeps them on a position. They do not rotate that easily, at least. To attach wooden parts to frame, I'm going to use such screws for wood. They are 60 millimeters long, but because they are pretty thick, it's like 6 millimeters. So I'm going to pre-drill small holes to avoid any cracks in the wood. And that's it. It is, at least that was the goal, it is a potter's wheel, my very first, so probably there are some design issues, we will see. But here we have a bench, it's a working table, and don't know the name, but it's like a kick wheel that you kick and spin the whole table. So I hope that it will be useful. For sure there are some features to add, something like some support for that, let's say, lazy leg somewhere here, I guess. Some shelf, that's why I was talking about hinges at the beginning, because shelves are always welcome. But time for improvements will come. For now, I need to figure out how to wrap it and put it under the Christmas tree. So thanks for watching and see you next time.